Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Today is Monday. What's today's date? Oh, it's the 19th, May 19th, 2025. How's everybody doing? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to my Netherlands European friends. Good morning, Miguel. Good morning, Carla. Actually, good afternoon to you, Carla. Joe, good morning. Mitch, good morning to you. Trader Bram, good afternoon. Jeremy, good morning. Carla, I'm a little tired, believe it or not, although not surprisingly. After our trade from the overnight, I stayed up a little bit. Remember, I took two trades and I took two losses, and then I stayed for another trade. I'll show it to you after the 9 o'clock, which was a winner, and I made it back. Good morning, Koss. Maya, good morning. Nice to see you. How you guys holding up in the East Coast over there? You guys being affected by any of the weather or not yet? Yeah, the H pattern actually didn't give a reversal. It gave a continuation, which is why I got into the trade. I'll show that in a minute. Yeah, Mitch is good. Good. All right, let's go take a look at the charts real quick before we get into the 9 o'clock trade. What are we looking at? We are looking for all right, let's see. All right, we're looking for shorts, right? And right now we are going to need price to go drop down below 21,196 for us to get a short signal. And which means it's going to have to bounce off of here before, like in 2 minutes. So we're inside this broadening formation on the 5 off of this engulfing candle. So it went down, expanded it a little bit, had another engulfing right here, could not make lower lows, bounced up, took out the high here, and now we're going back into here. Probably take this going up here somewhere, going up to the VWAP, which is out here, 21,235. So we'll see if this thing's going to continue. We've only got a minute. I don't think this thing is going to drop down here, so we're probably not going to get a short setup. Man, you're in Florida, right? If I remember correctly. Beth, good morning. How are you? All right, we've got 30 seconds, and it does not look like we're going to get a short. Okay, yeah, 10 seconds. Beth, thanks. Doing well. A little tired, but doing really good. All right. Got a second here. Okay, so yeah, so this 9 o'clock, no trade. All right, so here's what happened during the overnight. Let's get rid of this for now. So so as the overnight was developing right here, I got into this trade right here, trading something new, which is the 5-minute opening range break. And can you guys see this? Does this make sense to you? Give me a Y or a yes in the chat. If you can see this bar, I'm going to move my mouse, but it's right here, this bar. This is the 3 o'clock bar. So this is the bar that opened at 3 and closes at 3:05. Okay, good. We're getting yeses from 4 of you, 5 of you. Come on, guys. I know it's early. It's early for me too. So, all right. So what I do is I'm looking for a break outside of this bar to take a long position. Okay. So primarily the strategy is to go long, long only. All right. So next candle went down. Next candle went down below that, which, by the way, we did not get a long setup for the 305 break. So, because remember, we're looking for a couple things, right? One is we're looking for the 935 break. I'm sorry, the 305 break. Okay, so the 305 candle was right here. So we're looking for a break above to go long, which we didn't get. Okay, so that trade was off the table. And at the same time, I'm looking for a break above the 5-minute opening range, which is right here. I had marked the lines at 207 and then 183. So I'm looking for a break. Once the price closes and breaks above, the next candle that opens, we go long. Okay, so this candle right here did not close above. This candle did. So on the next candle, wherever the open is, which is right somewhere around here, 212, I'm going to take a long position. And that's what happened. I got in, and you'll see it right. We'll have to wait for the next bar to show because it ended up stopping out. But right here. So see, I got in at 21,212 to go long, and I got stopped out. The stop was like 40 ticks. So took like a $200 loss on that, roughly. And then price came back into the range again, and I'm looking for it to break up higher again, which it did on this bar, and it went higher. So I was thinking, oh, good, this will be a good indication. We'll probably shoot somewhere up here to go test these highs. And got into a long right here and got immediately stopped out. So got in here at 208 and got stopped out at 199. So there was like a 9-point stop or something like that. Okay. Then here's what happened. While all this was happening, I saw this. And this is what Koss was talking about, the H pattern. So this was developing, this guy. Okay. So as this thing was happening, I'm saying, okay, if this thing either reverses, then I'm going to take a short. And I looked at it on this bar. Right here is where I drew this. Okay, and I did this really quickly. And as I drew this, I think this happened. I have to go look at let me take a look at my trade logs, because I did this on NinjaTrader and I only traded this on one account. So okay, I'm trying to look and see at the time when this thing got it. Okay. All right. Okay, so I found the trade execution and the time. All right, so right here at this 4 o'clock bar, I was watching it and I said, okay, if the next bar closes down and reaches down to try to go down to take this out and it doesn't bounce off, I'm going to take a short. And then my short entry is going to be wherever, let me show you. This bar is right here. So since this bar closed right here and this bar tried to basically make, see how it's got a wick here? So I actually placed an order at 177 and a quarter or 177 and a half to go short. And the bar had actually gone up to the reverse. So I'm thinking if this thing comes back down and picks me up on the way, I'll get in short and then I'll just ride it out. And while I did this, I also drew a Fibonacci to kind of see where's price going to go. So it was targeting way down there. So my original target was 140 once I got in, and my stop was, somewhere around, I got in at 177. So I think 187 was my stop after, but this bar had already closed and gone. So right here. Okay, so I'm in the trade, right? Because I got in, and this is already moving down. So it pulled back a little bit to 169, but my stop was clear up here at 187, right here, somewhere around here. And I was in at 177.50, okay? And then I just kind of let this thing go. I had moved my target way down below to the, right here, to the 618. I put the target down here. And then once it got, I said, once I get down to this area, then I'm going to move my stop to, because my original take profit was at 140, I think it was 143 or 144. Or no, it was 140. That's right, it was 140. And then once it got and hit this 0.27, then I was going to move my stop to 140, which is what I ended up doing. So it did hit here. I moved the target to 140. The stop to 140. And then I just kind of left it there. And then I got stopped out right here at around 450. And that's when I called it and went to bed. So I ended up getting I think 200 ticks out of the trade, something like that. So it made up for the 2 losers that I had prior, because they were small losers. And it was $1,000 trade. And then I ended up, positive, almost $600. So this was basically done just straight off of a market read based on looking for the pattern and what price action was doing. It was not part of the strategy at all, because I was not planning on taking a short off of the break. But since I saw it and it was developing and things were kind of, lining up the way I like to look for these patterns, then I took it. And then I left this up in the overnight and on my computer at home to see if this was actually going to get hit, and it never did. So it never really completed the Fibonacci. Never stopped out either, but it's still in the sequence, basically retracing as far back as the 50% yet again. So I don't know, that's kind of what I did in the overnight. No, Carla. The H is to give me an indication of where the price is going to reverse or not. So what happens with the H pattern is 2 things. When it starts to develop, can you see this H pattern? Can you see what I'm talking about? How this looks like a lowercase h, the line that was drawn? Do you see that? Okay, I'm waiting for Carla to see, because I know, Trader, you see it. You did a lot of geometry. Okay, good. So, so usually what happens when these H patterns, the way it works is you get a move down, like it did right here, and then you start to get a pullback. So what happens is people will automatically think that price is reversing and going to head back up. I look for confirmation, and what I mean by that is for it to go back and get to its max retracement, and then go back and test the low, in this case, of the move. And if it basically bounces off of that, again, you have a little buffer zone, like, 5 points or so from the low. If it bounces, then it confirms the reversal. In other words, the indication where they were looking to move the price back up after the move down, this would confirm it. If it breaks below, or it basically doesn't bounce, then it confirms the continuation. And then when you draw a Fibonacci, then it'll give you a continuation. And also, if you see price retraced right here on this bar, it literally tapped the 50%. So if we drew our fib, this was the starting point. This was the end of the move, right? This was the pullback. So from here we got the pullback. So this would be a measured move. If we basically take, where's my line? I take a line and I draw from here to here, okay? And then I copy it, paste it, and I move it down from here to the retracement, and I fast forward it. I'm expecting price to go at least here, okay, on a measured move. Do you see that? So, which is where the lightning bolt pattern came from, okay? So this happens all the time. When you have the initial down move, which you measure, and then you got the retracement, you copy this move and you paste it on after the pullback, price should go somewhere into this direction, okay? And you can tell it got really close, right? I mean, it got to 112 where the measured move would have been, let's call it 200, so 12 points. It's pretty good when you're talking about, a move that basically extended from it's 130 points. Okay, so this is a 130 point move. So you're expecting another 130 point move, and we got 120 out of it, or 117. So pretty good, right? So does that make sense at all? Right. So I'm basically applying this to trading, right? So, all right. So that takes care of that. Let's clear all this stuff out. So we can get rid of this H pattern. We've seen it. We know what it is. Got rid of the fib. So now, what are we doing? What are we looking at? So now price is kind of stuck in this range here. Okay. So if we kind of look left and see where we're at, we can get rid of these, opening the London Open range. So I'm looking at this. This is an engulfing bar right here off the 5, which we can probably actually do something a little better. Let's go off the 15. And let's extend it here, because we have this engulfing on the 15. All right. So if we look at this 15, now here's something that's interesting. This is the 15-minute opening range, okay? So if we look at it, we're trading inside the 15 opening range of the London Open. All right. So if we go back down to the 5, we're trading inside here. So we want to break away. Okay. So for the New York Open, if price stays kind of below here, look at all of our time frames. Everything is down, right? We opened the week down. We opened the day down from last night and the Globex when the Asian market opened. So if this thing closes somewhere below here, we could be heading for a little bit of a sell-off today. We'll see. We are getting close towards the end of the month. How many days we got left to trade? No, we still have another 10 days after today. So we're halfway through the month. So we might get a little bit of a pullback. Remember, if we look at the weekly, we've been on this for the last few weeks. We've been on pretty much on a, let's call it a upward price movement, which is retracing the move down that we had that started, back in February. Okay. So this happened last week of February. We're selling off, and then the tariffs hit, and then we really sold off. And now we're just kind of recovering a little bit. And I said that we were looking to basically complete the month on a bullish note. So if we look at the monthly, right? So we are trying to make up some of these losses that we had here. And we'll see what happens around 21.7. If we get there somehow by the end of this month, this will be a point of contention somewhere around here. So for the week, we'll kind of see how, obviously today we started down after, this is on Friday. Friday was trading inside of Thursday, and you can see it's starting to hit a little bit of exhaustion where the buyers were kind of petering out a little bit. And here the sellers are starting to take control. So we'll see if this thing's turning around. Now remember, what can we expect? So let's try to do a little forward thinking. If we take a fib off of the weekly, off the daily, and we do this, and then we draw an H pattern that we could potentially see, we're looking for price to retrace somewhere maybe back to here and do this. So this is the anticipation. Okay. Now, is all this going to happen today, this week? Maybe not at all. Don't know. So this is kind of what we're looking for on the daily time frame. So usually when I look for a retracement, I look for it to go anywhere between the 38 and the 50 retracement to be a valid pullback off of a move. Okay? So depending on what happens, this is what we're anticipating. You guys see that? Does that make sense? Just kind of giving us kind of a forward look to see if the market does X, we'll look for it to do Y, and then we can act accordingly. But right now we're in a holding pattern. We're just waiting. Why? Because if we look at the 15, remember, this is how it started. I was looking at the 15. We're trading inside this engulfing bar. We're inside this range. So we'll let the week and the day, we'll let that hang tight for a little bit. Let's just see what happens in the interim for the shorter time frame. Right now we're trading in the middle of this. Really don't want to have anything to do with it. Now, what does that give us for the 9 930, 935. Well, we'll see. Right now we're in a short, basically in a short pattern, which is what we're looking for, right? We are looking for a short. So let me make sure I get all that ready to go for my short. Give me 1 second. Let me just get set up here for a minute.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Does this thing show up on the chart?
Order submitted.
No.
Order canceled. Order submitted.
There it goes. Okay.
Order canceled.
Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me just do this real quick, and then I'll go back to the chat.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled.
Okay. So I am ready for the 935, and then for the opening break as well. We're going to trade that as well. Trade the 5-minute opening break and the 935 breakout. So, like I said, we're back, trading in this zone here, in this range, sorry. And you can see right here, this engulfing bar almost matches this engulfing bar, which is kind of interesting. Right? So even though we're inside, this thing is so now, since we could not make lower lows, we're going to go and start attacking the highs here and see if this can take this out, and then take out the high of this engulfing, which is happens to be literally almost both of these, and also the broadening of the range. We can actually do maybe this. All right, what do we got? Let's see. We got 20 people in here and only 4 likes. That's pretty sad. All right, so now we're basically just waiting. We've got 5.5 minutes until the market opens. We don't really have any news to speak of till, I think, is it Thursday? Yeah, we don't have any real news until Thursday, I don't think. We got some FOMC members are supposed to speak later on today. That's not really going to impact us too much. What do we got tomorrow? No news really to speak of tomorrow. Wednesday, just crude oil inventories if you're trading CL. And then Thursday is when the global services PMI is coming out, and existing home sales as well, and also initial jobless claims. So that's at 8:30 Eastern on Thursday. That's going to be a good one. I think the market's kind of waiting for that. So, but that's really all the news for this week. And then new home sales on Friday. So, no news until the latter part of the week. I'm just reading something in Discord. Karen, you said there's lots of news coming out? When? What is it you're seeing? What am I missing? I'm just looking at some of the chat in Discord, guys, just so you know. You won't be able to, Karen, you won't be able to talk in here unless I bring you up to the stage. And then if you talk, then you'll be talking in YouTube as well. If you want to do that, we can do that. We can have a conversation if you'd like. But just know that you'll be live at that point. Okay, no problem. Yeah, that goes to anybody in Discord. If you guys want to, chat and have a conversation and we can talk live, be more than happy to bring you on. So that's one of the benefits, guys, for you watching on YouTube, that in the Discord we can actually talk one-on-one if you're interested. Okay, so Financial Juice has got some stuff. Let's take a look. Let's see real quick. Yeah, I'm looking at my Financial Juice on another computer, but it's not working right. So, oh well, I'll have to fix that. I'll do that later. All right. We've got 30 seconds till the market opens. And we're still trading inside this range. See if this thing decides to just take off to the upside, which it looks at what it wants to do, and break out of here. Let's go shoot down to the 5. So trying to take out, it started here, right? This is from the London high of the 5-minute opening range. And this is actually the 15. So this thing just took off to the upside. Okay. So let's see what happens here if it bounces off of the VWAP here and what it does with this broadening range trend line. Okay, I'm getting some pretty heavy lag on my NinjaTrader. This always happens, and I'm not really quite sure why. I wonder if this is because I'm streaming, that I'm getting this really bad lag once the market opens. Yeah, this is like almost a minute. I'm like a minute behind. This is not good. All right, let me close this workspace. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bring this back up. I'm going to shut down Ninja. See if I can bring this back up before the trade commences. I basically have like 2 minutes to get this thing up and running. This thing is not coming up for me. But if price keeps staying where it's at right now, I'm not going to get my short. I just want to see if I can get into the opening range play. So as it stands right now, what do we got? Just under a minute. Okay, so there's 12 seconds, so there's not going to be a short. So I'm looking for Mitch, you got a little what? Oh, you've got a little lag? Yeah. I've got quite a bit of lag. My charts are still not up yet. So we have the 5-minute opening range, which is right here. You can see it by in this shaded area. Yeah, my ninja's actually like frozen. All right, now it's starting to come back up. And it's about a minute behind. Let's see if it catches up. Okay, now it's 7 seconds behind. Okay, so now it looks like it caught up for the most part. Let's go into... let's see what's going on here. All right, so if this thing closes up above here, then I'm taking a long.
Order submitted.
And
Order canceled.
we got 2 minutes.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Strange. Trying to figure out what's happening on the why it's not showing up on the chart here.
Order submitted. Order
right, here we go.
canceled.
Trying to maybe close this gap from the overnight now, but already the gap was already closed, so all right, let's see, what is this smaller time frame? Now this is a really, really bad place to take a long, because as soon as this candle opens, we're probably going to pull back a little bit, and I hope it's not going to stop me out. But it is going to take a long position in 2 seconds.
Order submitted.
So I'm in this trade, and it's going up to here, to like Friday's high. See if it'll do that. I think I'm going to protect this a little bit. Not crazy about the stop being that big, so.
Order filled.
All right. So got out a little bit of profit on that one. On that particular account.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right. So took a little bit of profit on it. Just I was worried about the lag on my machine, but so I got like, I don't know, $150 or something like that out of that trade. Anyhow, that is going to be it for this morning's session. Thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. We will cover more about this opening range break trade as time goes on. Today was the first day I actually traded it live. Do have some really nice back test numbers on it that work really well. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks again, and we will see you guys back here tomorrow. And my European buddies, we will see you guys at the London Open. All right, so thanks for joining me, guys. We'll see you guys in the Discord a little bit later. If you're trading, trade well, and we will see you guys all later. Have a good one. Bye now.